So what we're doing today, this is sort of a mobilization event. We're getting together to make signs for potential picket action. We've had a great turnout of both TAs and some undergrads stopping by to express their support, to make a sign. We're developing messaging as well, sort of effective ways to communicate to both the undergraduate population and the public at large who may not be familiar with our demands or our situation. I think that the undergrad population is going to come to understand just how little TAs have to get by on. I think the issues of food insecurity that are evidenced by the heavy use of our food bank, the general economic precarity that is evident when a Western housing apartment costs more per month than the net monthly income for a TA. And I hope that everybody's able to recognize that what TAs are asking for is not outlandish. We're asking for basic fairness. We're asking to escape precarity. We're asking to have more to get by and ensure that attending graduate school isn't a sentence to poverty.
The demands that they're currently bargaining for generally fall under two categories of monetary and non-monetary demands. So that includes things like input into which courses TAs are assigned to work for, things like formalizing the overtime process. The union is asking for a wage increase that at the very minimum meets the inflation projections over the duration of the collective agreement that we're being asked to sign on to. Ensure that tuition doesn't go up as the rate of pay goes up, so that in essence, the real wage or real income of TAs matches that of inflation and veers more towards a living wage.
So in terms of the current negotiations, I think that the administration is not treating the union or graduate teaching assistants fairly. So they put out 2 communications so far to campus community, and in the first one they said that they're negotiating with graduate teaching assistants, and that everybody should kind of keep in mind that we get paid $43.61 an hour. Well, I don't think that that's a fair representation, because the rest of the work we do for $0 an hour. So I mean, if you calculate actually for the teaching work and the research work that we do, what we're paid an hour, you get a completely different number. And I think it's so much more difficult for people to understand to click that what they're saying about how labor relations work is false. I mean, and why would somebody doubt the provost? Why would you go and do that research? I mean, it's really hard for us to undo that damage, and I don't think that that's a fair tactic, I don't think it's fair.
So we provide a lot of support, and that is not recognized. It's unfair that the Western is just putting on the side, and it's time for that to stop.
So Janice Deacon has been emailing out the students and letting them know that there will not be any kind of disruption to the exams or marks or any of these things, and even put it in bold. And yet that work is done by TAs. So I don't know how things won't be disrupted if that's our labor. Like, that's what we do. As a TA, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be proctoring an exam. I'm going to be marking. into the wee hours of the morning, and I'm going to be uploading grades. So that's my work. So, and she also said in the email, like, made it clear that we have a very competitive wage. I don't know the exact wording, but it was something like that, and then put how much we make per hour. It's $43.41, from the email. So it makes it appear like, wow, we make a lot per hour, but we work 10 hours a week, and our TA-ship is only 8 months of the year. So I guess the other 4 months of the year, we just shut off and disappear, and we have, we don't eat food, and we disappear. Like, to trying to live on that wage, it's unlivable. Like, it's a poverty wage in the end. That's what it turns into. When you're like how much you take home every month, from Western. I pay Western tuition so I can teach here and train to be a TA, and then all that money goes back to Western in terms of housing. And my tuition goes up $25 per term. So all these costs are going up, yet they are not increasing our wage, like a real wage increase. So what happens when your funding runs out? Well, you have no ability to pay your rent or pay your tuition or your fees or your food. So you get work, and you start working 30 to 40 hours a week out of their jobs, which means you are not completing your degree. So I guess maybe it doesn't matter to Western, because they got our tuition, they got our time and our labor while we're here.